And we are live, Joe. So,
Oh boy.
all right, I think it's a pretty good time to roll the intro.
Hey guys, before this episode of the podcast starts, I'd like to give a special shout out to my friend Kamari, who said that he'd mix us an outro, and we're going to be using that from here on out. So if you guys wouldn't mind checking out his content, I've left the links in the description, so please go check that out and let him know that we sent you when you do. All right, I hope you enjoy the episode and have a great rest of your day.
Good morning.
Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords eternally retold. Welcome to the stage of history retold.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Check it out now. Third strike, yo.
Welcome back, everybody, to Adam and Joe After Hours. It's been a minute.
It sure has. What's up, everyone? What's up, Adam?
What's up, Joe? I mean, shit. Life has just kind of gotten in the way of us recording this thing like we used to. But that's
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
normal. It's to be expected, given the lives that
Yeah.
the two of us live. And I don't really think we need to go into much detail about that. Just know that we are back, and life is finally done kicking us in the balls for now.
Yes, sir. We're back on the grind. You know how it is.
Yeah. So these past couple months, Joe, how have they been for you?
I've been all right. I mean, finished school, which was like the main thing that was the main thing that put this podcast on hiatus, because you know how college is. They just it shoves so much shit down your throat, and it was like, okay, I need like some time to dedicate to this, so I can got that out of the way. Now that I'm waiting for my next semester, we're back here recording some podcasts. You know how it is.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
besides that, it's been all right. I gotta say, it's been all right. Um, yeah, I mean, not much to complain about. The COVID stuff is slowly going away. I got my first dose. I'm waiting for my second one.
Me too. Me too.
Yes, sir. But other than that, no, not much. Much.
Good stuff. Same
What
for
about
me.
you, though?
I've just been doing work stuff, dealing with a lot of that. Planning on my big actual comeback to creating YouTube content, which I was never really a consistent creator with that to begin with. It was just more like a hobby, but now I'm kind of taking it a little bit more seriously.
Okay.
And other than that, I've just been paying attention to all the news, and boy, there's been a lot of news, and not all of it
A
good.
lot.
Not all
Yeah.
of it good. Kind of starting off on a sour note, just so that we can end on a way better one by the time that we finish recording this. But
Yeah.
earlier this month, the month of May 2021, the manga industry lost one of its titans, and that's a bit of an understatement.
Yeah.
That being Kentaro Miura, mangaka behind Berserk.
Berserk. Yo.
And like I don't have really anything profound to say about that because like I'm not gonna wax fucking poetic about it.
Right.
I used Berserk as like a way to manage my emotions, in particular like anger and frustration. I kind of felt that series like a release for those things, even in the
Right.
face of its sometimes very optimistic stories.
Mhm.
Especially given with what we've been dealing with Fantasia.
Huh. Yeah.
But I actually heard about Miura passing from Joji Morikawa's Twitter. He's the dude who writes and illustrates Hajime no Ippo. And
Mm.
like little funny lore behind that, Miura like started out working at Morikawa's studio, and Morikawa
Right. I heard about that.
encouraged
Yeah.
him to go create his own sort of series based on the drawings that he saw, and the drawings that he saw were of like a fairy and a swordsman with a big fucking sword. So you know, you could already tell that he had
He definitely already had that in mind.
yes, that he had like the sort of the seeds, especially because of what Berserk started out as being black swordsman. So
Yeah.
I don't know, really anything like incredibly profound to say. What do you got, Joe?
I mean, same here, man. It's such a devastating loss, and one that I don't think anyone saw coming, like from a mile away. There's no way that you can like predict this sort of these sort of things, you know. Um, but it does need like this needs to be like a sign for everyone to, you know, kind of accept like the manga industry, like especially the mangaka industry, or same shit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's taxing, man. Like we've known this for years, and it's sad how it takes, you know, takes his passing for us to realize that and say, oh, something needs to be fixed, something needs to be changed. So it's kind of a bittersweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know a lot of people roast Eiichiro Oda, mangaka behind One Piece, because he takes breaks every 3 chapters, I believe, and I sometimes can feel a little frustrated with Araki when he takes extended hiatuses from writing JoJolion.
Right.
But I think now, like, it's kind of been put into a bit of perspective for me, just
Right.
how much
Exactly.
because Miura died from I believe it was like a health condition related to stress,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and
Yes.
that even though he was releasing chapters like on a very irregular schedule, you know.
Imagine, imagine the people who are releasing weekly, even
Right.
monthly. Like that's gotta be. I don't even know the word because already said taxing, but that's just not enough. That's
Yeah, that's got to be crushing physically and emotionally and spiritually to just have to
yeah,
do
man.
that much work. Even though you like write it and draw it, it still has to be edited and redone. And we see a lot of manga taking on assistants, multiples sometimes, you know. And it's like
Exactly.
even that schedule, because Miura had assistants. He had a whole studio, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Studio Gaga, I believe it was called, and even then he was still incredibly stressed out. He had a whole second manga to create when he in the sort of off periods when he wasn't making Berserk, and even then he still felt incredibly stressed. So I kind of understand why Oda and Araki and so many other mangaka feel the need to take extended breaks and hiatuses, and it's got to become the norm to do that. But instead of just
Exactly.
every 3 chapters or every couple months, it's got to be like weekly. It's got to be way more frequent and for way longer because we're
Yeah,
overworking these
I
people.
agree.
And
I
I'm saying this as a Western
definitely
fan,
agree.
not even as someone who actually lives in Japan, where this shit is fucking sold by the pound. You know what I mean? Where they print more
Yeah,
manga paper than they do toilet paper. I'm saying this from a Westerner's perspective. We gotta slow down because we're working these guys too hard. And I get it. We're all fans of this shit. And there were times when I was like, yo, Miura, where the fuck are these chapters? Yo, Araki, where the fuck are these chapters? You know? But,
yeah. I
like,
mean, yeah. Of course, it's you know we're so ignorant to the fact that you know this like this were the working condition or these are the working conditions. You know?
yeah, that there are people behind this. That this doesn't just materialize out of thin air. That there are
Exactly.
actual human beings who have to sit down and put pen to paper or stylus to drawing pad or whatever the fuck they use to make this. That people actually have to sit down and physically craft these stories for us. And the fact that we had to lose somebody who was so important to the inspiration behind so many series, like Dark Souls, shit like Final
Mhm.
Fantasy, with Cloud's fucking big ass sword.
Fucking big ass Buster Sword. Yeah.
Exactly. The fact that we had to lose somebody who's inspired so much, whose legacy has become so much greater than just a really great manga about
Exactly.
Guts' life and all he's had to lose and the people that he's lost and the people that he's met, and the fact that we had to lose somebody who was writing something so profound and who made something that had such a big effect on people just so that we could understand the fucking conditions, because we all know that the manga and anime industry is like really taxing. We all kind of
Yeah.
knew that, but no one gave a shit.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like we were all aware of it, but you know we're just like, oh, it can't be that bad. You know, like
Yeah.
this mangaka is just lazy and they don't want to you know release chapters. But man, with this new perspective, it's crazy. And mind you, for those that don't know, he was 54.
That's fucking
54.
young, dude.
So yeah, I don't know what else to say in that regard. Just
Yeah, man.
man, You know, I
Rest in
told you
peace,
this.
man.
I told you this. You know, the moment that we had found out. Um, I really hope that I don't want to word it in a way that's like pessimistic or anything, but in those moments where he was dying, I really hope that he wasn't thinking, oh, I hope my fans are not disappointed in me. But I hope that he was proud of his work. I hope that he didn't pass with the negative, with such a negative mentality,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really sad, man.
Yeah. I'm also just glad that I believe it was his publishers or his studio or whoever gave his family time to grieve before just releasing the news, because Lord fucking knows if Miura were like an American celebrity, TMZ would have published that shit the fucking second it happened.
Yup.
Like they did with fucking Kobe Bryant. Thankfully, his family was given time to grieve and time to have a funeral before the fans knew. Before even
Right.
people he was close to, like fucking George Morikawa knew. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they at least got their time, and we got ours. But man, it sucks.
It really does. It really does, man.
Glad we got that.
We
off
got
of
that out
our-
of our systems.
Yes. Now it's time to talk about something that won't kind of make me want to cry on the inside. There's been a lot of news, a lot of releases that have
Yes.
happened. Fucking this past month has been insane. Nocturne
Oh, yeah.
Remastered came out. Mass Effect
Still
Legendary
disappointed
Edition
in
came
it,
out.
by the way.
Get boss, you're disappointed in it? What? Let's hear about
Yeah,
that.
dude. Oh no, you can go ahead and
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I
keep
wasn't
listing
expecting that. No. We could get to that later. I want to hear about this shit.
Well,
I wasn't expecting you to be disappointed in it.
I mean, okay, yeah, it's a remaster. It does the job. This is the job of remastering.
Yeah.
Does it well. But the thing is that, okay, so we all know how the whole notion of voting with your wallet, right?
Yes.
I'm kind of at a crossroads. Do I buy? Because I'm sure that because have you bought it yourself?
I haven't been able to. No, I've
Well-
been really busy. Even if I did buy it, I've got a lot of other games to play.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm at a crossroads where I don't know if you've seen, but the port is it's a port, all right. It exists.
Which
It's a
port?
thing.
The Switch port, the PS4
Of-
port, PC port? Which version?
Oh, I mean, just the remaster, just the remaster in general. It's a remaster. It does the thing. My problems with it are, one, the frame rate is still stuck at 30 on current gen hardware,
Oh,
mind you. And I mean, like, that's not a big deal, but this is a PS2 game we're talking about, running on a PS4. Like, it has updated visuals, quote unquote. Like, okay, yeah, but is that really is that really a reason to cap it at 30 frames? And like, the whole reasoning is that, oh, the frame rate is tied to animation. Well, why the fuck did you tie a frame rate to every single animation? That just doesn't make sense to me. Again, I'm not a developer, so I don't know. But and then also the music it still sounds like PS2 music. They didn't called upscale it or anything. Kept it as is. Terrible. And then also the new difficulty, the what is it called? Merciful, I think.
I thought it was the easier one, because I thought they added one
Yeah,
that was harder.
No, they added an easier one, and it's to say that it's a joke is a massive understatement. Let me pull up the list of everything that it does, because it does so much that I kind of looked at it. Like, I saw the differences between the normal and the easier difficulty, and I just kind of laughed. And I thought to myself, are people really this bad at video games where they need to make it this, like,
Yeah. I gotta get them Persona 5 fans to play Megami Tensei, Play a real
thing.
Shin Megami Tensei game like Nocturne or Strange Journey.
See, that's the thing though. Um, I forget the Twitter user, but he's like pretty prevalent in the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona community,
Hmm.
and a lot of people voted that that the normal difficulty really isn't all that bad.
Isn't like too hard, too easy. It's just right in the middle.
Yeah, it like it's just right.
Oh, okay.
So like
Interesting.
I'm really confused as to why um why the easier difficulty was made, but let me take a gander here.
Sure.
So merciful, let me see. Merciful doubles your damage, like just off the bat.
Mm.
It lowers the encounter rate like stupid, like by a stupid amount, and you get quadruple. I think it's quadruple or triple times the amount of XP after battle.
Jesus
So
Christ, that's really all you'd need is just a higher XP boost if you're gonna
yeah,
make an easier difficulty. Like
I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true because
that's like
Nocturne in
weird.
and of itself is extremely grindy. That's the only time that maybe like if I actually play it, I'll switch to Merciful so I don't have to grind for 4 hours to go up one level,
Yeah,
you know? But like other than that, this the new difficulty is it's a thing. It exists.
that's awfully forgiving for a series that is known for its punishing difficulty.
Yup.
Especially with
Oh,
Nocturne, which is like a JRPG rite of passage up there with like fucking Final Fantasy VII and like Dragon Quest III.
Dragon Quest,
You
yeah.
know, that's like incredibly odd that they would be like, here's double damage, fucking quadruple XP. Like that's so fucking weird. Like all you need is just just a permanent double XP multiplier, and then you can make any JRPG infinitely easier. You know,
Honestly, yeah.
like with
Yeah.
like Persona 4, like on all of my subsequent playthroughs, like all I do is just like I just leave everything the same except I just increase XP to more. That's it. You just
Yeah.
fly through that fucking game. Do every fucking dungeon in one fucking day. Get to level fucking 99. It's like it's so easy. All you have to do in any JRPG to make it easier is just double the fucking XP. That's it.
You know, I saw this. That reminds me. I saw this really odd take on Twitter.com, mind you. So,
On
Twitter.com.
Twitter.com, the website where people log on and literally say anything.
Yes, exactly. That's I saw this really odd take that said, it was actually about this exact same thing.
Okay.
They replied and said, um, you know, I don't understand this new difficulty. Grinding is part of the experience. Grinding is what makes the game hard. Like, eh,
Destiny fan
it
spotted.
sounds,
Destiny fan spotted.
dude. Like,
What a
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to that. It's like,
That's a dumb
so
take.
you're telling me that mindlessly sitting there for hours on end is a fun experience. Maybe not even a fun experience, but it's part of the experience. Like,
You know, I saw a
in
similar take like that to Mighty Keith because Mighty Keith said something like that a couple months ago, where he was
yeah,
like, yeah, where he said sort of the same thing, where he was like, I don't take people's reviews seriously who say that grinding is a bad part of like JRPGs
what?
because it's like an integral part of the genre, and I was like, like I love Mighty Keith, I love his content, he's a really nice dude. That was like the one time I've ever been like, what the fuck did you just type, dog? Because like I say this so often, and I'm pretty sure I've said this on the podcast before, that any game with grinding would be a better game without it. Unless like because 9 times out of 10 it's not fun to grind, you know.
It's exactly.
It
You're
can
going
just
back to
be
old areas, doing the exact same shit for maybe hours,
mhm.
literal hours. What what about that is fun?
Right. Sometimes it could be more tolerable. Sometimes you have like a kick-ass style in your game, like some Persona shit, or the fucking battle theme rocks, you know, and that just keeps the fucking madness just a bit further down the road, you know. But
Yeah,
grinding just generally isn't a fun thing to do. Like there
yeah,
are games where I had to grind and it wasn't as big of a problem because of the style of the game, i.e.,
exactly.
like Yakuza Like a Dragon or like Persona 4, you know, but grinding just on the whole is not something that I want in my games, and I could understand why someone wouldn't want that in their games, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like that's like fucking if you went to an amusement park, but every time you walked in the door, they kicked you in the fucking balls. But it was like the best amusement park ever. Thanks, but it would be better if you didn't kick me in the fucking balls when I walked in the door, or in the ovaries if you have those instead of balls. You know.
Yes. Yeah. You know.
So it's like a good game with grinding is good, but a good game without grinding can be great.
Yeah, I agree.
That's wild.
I think it. I agree with your point of like it depends on the game. Like for example, I'm very big into looters. Like as you know, I've just recently got back into Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
Not gonna ever touch WoW. Fuck that game. But Final Fantasy 14, Destiny, Borderlands, not Outriders though.
Outriders? What a fucking joke!
But yeah, no, I definitely agree that it definitely depends on the style of the game. Because like, for example, Final Fantasy 14 or in Destiny 2, like if I want a certain item and I have to, take a chance of it dropping, and most of the time I enjoy playing the game, so I don't mind it. Like the example of Final Fantasy 14, I really enjoy tanking. I will tank for as long as I have to get that item that I want because the game is fun. Mm-hmm. Destiny 2, well, that's a little bit.
It's another story
but,
entirely.
But yeah. Again, it definitely depends on the style of the game, and I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Nobody wants to fucking kill slimes and trash mobs, dog. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody sits down and says, you know what I want to do? Mindlessly do the same task for fucking 2 hours. Because if I wanted to mindlessly do the same task for multiple hours, I would go to work. You know what I mean?
And I'd get a job and go outside.
And I'd live my life. And nobody wants to do that shit. That's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand why certain game genres just have jank just like carried from game to game because people just expect the games to be janky.
Yeah.
And that's like weird to me. Like I see some people, getting mad at other people because I'm pretty sure you brought this specific thing I'm about to bring up on the last episode. If RE4 were to get like a re-release with RE2 graphics and with no tank controls, I've seen some people say, well, the tank controls are a fundamental part of Resident Evil 4's identity. And it would not be the same game without it. And I'm like, shut the fuck up! Because I understand it. Because after a while, you kind of don't notice that they're there. Because you have to adapt to the tank controls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can still get some pretty sick shit going on in Resident Evil 4 with the tank controls. But, like, imagine if it had, like, a, I don't know, normal control scheme?
Oh, shit. No, don't say that. Don't say that. No.
Imagine if you could... Joe, what if you could walk while aiming?
No, you're lying.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is revolutionary.
Oh, they're starting fires outside. I don't like. It's just.
So do those same people just hate like 5 through Owl Village? Like, is that what you're telling me?
That's weird as fuck. That's like saying Dead Rising 2 is bad because the AI fucking survivors are better. Fuck off. Okay. I don't understand why people just associate jank with being good because jank isn't always a good thing. Jank can make certain games like almost unplayable. Like there's a term for like early 2000s jank in European games. It's Euro jank because you kind of just expect a European game from that era to just be janky, and that's like we shouldn't have that expectation. We shouldn't let that off. It's janky. It's a product of its time. Fuck off, because we had so many other games from the early 2000s, late 90s that were like not janky and were actually good. Right. It's fucking insane that we can have a game like fucking Hitman Code 47 and Grand Theft Auto 3 both be developed on the continent of Europe, about a year or so apart, I believe, and one is a janky fucking mess that is nigh unplayable in the year of our Lord 2021, and the other, people still play it, and you can fucking buy it on your PS fucking 5 and your Xbox and your PC, and it plays just like any other GTA game in the past 20 years.
Exactly.
So that mindset will never fucking fly with me. Just accepting bullshit from certain products because you're just used to it by that
Because
point.
yeah,
It's so
I don't
stupid.
know. I don't know how they feel about that either, man. That shit, that's just like, oh yeah, the game is bad, but I promise it gets better. It gets better.
That's like fucking One Piece fans. Come on, man. Watch the episode 1334. I promise. No.
I
I,
promise it gets better at episode 763. I promise.
as someone who used to like watch One Piece as a kid because it was on like Toonami and I like enjoyed it, you know, I'm not like fucking keeping up with One Piece actively, like I used to, but like I completely understand people who are like, yeah, that's just too big. I don't want to get into that, That's just too much. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense. They're like 1,000 chapters deep, and they're still releasing like 3 chapters a month. So it's like,
yeah.
I completely understand. I don't understand why people like One Piece fans think that's like a fucking betrayal of the series. It's like, no, your series has been running for fucking longer than a lot of its fans have been alive. You fucking bastard. People don't
Yeah.
want to read all that. People don't want to watch all that.
And then on the same, like, I guess the same side, right? You have people that are like, "Ah, eh, you don't have to watch it all like in one sitting or not in one sitting, but you don't have to watch it all back to back. You don't have to read it all back to back. Yeah, nigga. And by the time that I catch up, there's gonna be another 1,000 chapters. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
you can watch the One Piece Basement Order.
Oh man.
Oh man, even I could barely contain that one. Oh dude, that was a wild day where Mother's Basement was like the main
Mother's
character of Twitter.
basement,
That
dude.
motherfucker was the main character of Twitter because of the shittiest take you could possibly have.
Okay, like my question is right? Like with all this notoriety that he has around his name, why do people like still watch him? If I remember correctly, he has a few 100,000 subscribers, right?
I thought he had like 1 million. Let me go check. Let me pull
Really?
this up.
No way. Hang on. I'm on YouTube. Hang on. This man has. You're
Yeah,
lying to me. You're
1.17 million
lying.
subscribers.
You're
Yeah.
lying.
Oh, funny you should mention One Piece because his most recent video is about One Piece. I don't know. I'm not fucking
Do
subscribed to
not
this
read
guy.
One Piece. Okay.
Oh man, I don't understand why people take Mother's Basement seriously, especially after that fucking awful JoJo take he had.
Jesus
That was
Christ,
just
dude.
bad. Hey, did you guys know it's gatekeeping to fucking tell people to watch a series in
Tell
order?
people. Holy shit! Like, you can't gatekeep by telling people to actually follow the chronological order of an anime's release. Fucking toxic.
It's like if you watched Breaking Bad season 1 and then skipped to season 5, and like we're like, yeah, I'm such a big fan of Breaking Bad, but I've never seen seasons 2 through 4. Ooh wee, fuck off, dude, fuck right off. But this dude's like, hey, watch part 4, then part 5, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
What the
And then he's
fuck,
like, then
dude?
go back and watch part 3. How fucking like what the fuck?
What the fuck are you talking
Did you see the
about?
order that he put up? Did you see
No,
the
yes. No, I did, but I'm saying like this man needs to shut the fuck up. Like
it's gatekeeping to ask somebody to watch an anime that's listed in parts in the order of the parts. Oh
I am so
man.
like no, I really am genuinely curious though. Who is still watching this, man? Is it just people that aren't aware of who he is? They're
It's
just like, oh, it's on my recommended. Sure, I'll watch this. This thing interests
it's
me.
the same
Or
people
are
who
there
watch like fucking Giguk and fucking Sea
Giga?
Dog
I
VA
fucking
and
yeah. I
Trash
fucking had
Taste.
names
It's
of them.
those people. It's the anime Twitter people. That's what they do.
Same niggas. It be the same niggas, bro.
Like fucking your bud Tevin posted like his like the what do my subscribers watch from his YouTube analytics, and this nigga looked like disappointed because his like viewers watch them same people. I was like, holy fuck, I'd be
Oh
disappointed too. Look, man, as much as I shit talk anime fans, y'all are pretty cool sometimes, and y'all can sometimes be the worst fucking people on the planet.
god. Oh, right next to Stan, they are for me, like Stan Twitter and anime Twitter are like neck and neck. for which one is worse.
I stay off of both of them, dude. I will.
No, I am actively doing my best. I'm actively doing my best. I do not want to see another K-pop fan cam in my homepage ever
Dude,
again.
it's to the point where I will see a tweet and be like, "Hey, that's a banger, like it," and then I'll see, "Oh, it's a K-pop stan account, unlike," and then I'll just keep going. I don't want that shit anywhere near me, man. Like, okay, here's the thing, right? It's not that like I dislike K-pop as a genre, because sometimes the songs are pretty good. You know what I mean? But the idol industry itself is like worse than like the anime and manga industry. It is fucking terrible,
horrible, dude. We were discussing this when you were over here in April.
Yes, we were. But like, it's just bad. Like, I've never seen an industry other than like the American film industry that is so blatantly forward-facingly awful.
Yeah.
And people are still like, you should have stand Luna. I'm like, oh, damn. Tell that to the fucking bitches that kill themselves, or the people that have to starve themselves, you know, because they're trying to be fucking idols. Well, should have stand Blackpink, should have stand BTS. Fuck off. How about you guys stand my dick and balls in your mouth, all right? Fuck out of here. And that's probably bad to say, because most of K-pop stan Twitter is like below the age of 15. That's probably like illegal. I'm sorry, FBI. Don't fucking arrest me, okay? But parents, fix your fucking kids.
You would be surprised, actually. There was like a point in time where I was so tired of fan cams that I actually went to go report their accounts for spam, just to see if anything would happen. And like, maybe not a lot of them, but a decent few of them were over the age of 20.
Oh Jesus, man!
Like, it had it in their bio, you know how like their stan list or whatever, and like a quote from a song, because you know that's how they all fucking work or whatever. Yeah. And they have their age, and I see some. I think the oldest one that I saw was 25.
Oh my god!
Being 25 fucking years old and hopping on Twitter to say, "Should have stand Blackpink." What the fuck are you doing with this?
You know what the fuck? That's like the Fatless meme, but instead of Atlas, it's fucking K-pop. I'll have your latest copy of Jungkook's solo album, please. Oh fuck!
Dude, it's bad.
Oh, that's terrible. Bad. Oh, that's really bad.
Like, okay, I probably shouldn't be saying this. Like, on the case that any of my family members actually ever do listen to this podcast, but I have a 30-something-year-old cousin that is into that shit. So,
oh my god, this is bad.
You know, like, I don't hate her as a person. Like, obviously, no, I don't hate any of my family. Well, I don't hate any of my with an asterisk. But it says a lot about her.
Oh, to be over the age of 30 and be a fucking K-pop stan.
Or just a stan in general.
To be a stan of anything. It's like, did y'all listen to the song?
Bro, I saw the dumbest tweet. It's like, oh yeah, the word has been recontextualized because now we are in a digital age. It's like, shut the fuck
That nigga killed his wife in the song! And she was pregnant! Oh my god. Has Eminem said anything about the word stan being taken by these fucking people and just being completely bastardized? Has he said anything about that?
I haven't been following him. Like, I haven't been following up with him for a very long time now, but I don't doubt that he has. He's probably addressed it in a song or whatever to try to make a funny bar, because that's how Eminem is.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Oh man!
For me just to grab a boo. Plus my penis got an attitude, dude. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh,
no, we should probably move on from bullying.
Bullying literal children.
I gotta. Yes, I gotta say it's pretty funny bullying a minor. or just bullying. But, probably move on from that.
Yeah, let's talk about
before we get
fucking
reported for like hate speech or something. I don't fucking know.
before K-pop stands send a fucking lawsuit to our house like they did with Too Mad. Yeah, let's move on.
Dude.
Okay, so have you played Resident Evil 8? Resident Evil Village?
I have.
Yeah, me too.
And
What
I
are
got
your
some
impressions,
thoughts.
dog? What are your impressions?
Are we discussing spoilers?
We can, yeah.
All right, then I feel like this would be a good time to put a spoiler mark.
Yes, I will.
The
If you're
recording.
watching the video version, I will put a timestamp. If you're listening to the audio version, I will put a timestamp in the description. You'll have to probably scrub around to actually go for it and find the proper time code on your phone or on your PC. But I will still include the timestamp for polite purposes. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, you've been warned.
Yes.
All right. I don't know if I should be addressing the good or the bad first because it's kind of 50-50 for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yup.
Like okay, let me discuss the good first.
Yes.
One, it's a good game.
Yes.
It's a good game. I really enjoyed it. I just have so much to say. I don't even know where to start. It's a good game. I won't deny it.
Just what you like first, because I can corroborate the like part. You'll go, I'll go. We'll
That's the
make a
thing,
thing
though,
out of it.
like this is so much to discuss, but it's a good game. Like you won't regret buying it at full price because as short as it is, it's still a really it's an enjoyable journey.
It's a quality Resident Evil title, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Mercenaries is fun. It's not exactly how I expected it to return, but it's fun. Let's see. The horror, especially in this one section.
It's spoilers. You can just say it. It's the dollhouse.
Yeah,
It's the baby.
I forgot you. Yes, I forgot we were discussing spoilers. Bro, that section was so good. It was so good.
Yep. Really felt like some classic RE shit. Like, it reminded me most of, like, the original version of Resident Evil 2, where it had, like, the fucking zombie moth, like, the really weird horror that Resident Evil used to have. It reminded me most of that. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
It didn't really, like, get, like, a visceral scare out of me so much as I did feel completely on edge, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because,
totally.
like, I think what the first-person duology, I'll call them, 7 and 8, do well is make you feel on edge, you know? And I think I felt that feeling the most. Like, I could die at any moment during the dollhouse section, the baby section.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, because you were completely blind without your flash, or with your flashlight, I should say.
Yeah.
And all you had was the ambient music and the creaks of the floor.
Yeah.
That is it.
And those gross-ass baby sounds.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff, dog. It's good stuff. It's quality Resident Evil horror. Quality. Yeah. It is all the stuff that made the Resident Evil 1 remake and RE2 and 3 and all the scary RE games. It's what made them great in the first place. It's true survival horror. It's like the first quarter of Resident Evil 7, you know what I mean? It's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but how do you feel? Let's get to that. Them homeboys. Let's get to that. The horny niggas in the chat right now. Let's talk about. Okay, look, I'm gonna be real honest, right? The game kind of falls off after Lady D dies. Like, I'm not saying like it like fucking like nosedives in quality. It's just not as good.
It just takes a notable dip.
It's just not as good because like sexual shit aside, I really liked Lady D and her daughters. That's a really interesting idea. I really enjoyed that idea of this woman and her daughters who live in this castle and they serve Mother Miranda and she's got her brothers and shit. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm really into this idea. And there's a lot of really good like body horror that comes from that whole section at Castle Dimitrescu.
Oh yeah. Yeah, seeing all the corpses.
Seeing all the corpses and all the fucking shit that Ethan gets fucking stabbed with. Yeah, I'm not good with that. Yeah. I'm not good with that. I'm and so, like when they first hung that nigga up, with the hooks, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna fucking
Oh my god, yo.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that part completely.
I thought I
Oh
was gonna
man.
fucking. I thought if that was what they were doing at the start, I thought I was gonna fucking be vomiting by the end because I'm not really good with like stabbings and piercings and shit. You know what I mean? That's where I draw a fucking line.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I get you.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I like what is brought to the table, but they really did advertise her way too much for the role that she actually ends up playing in the marketing of in the final product of Resident Evil Village.
Yeah. I was actually just discussing this. But yeah, like the fact that she's the first, like you don't know at the time, obviously, but she's the first boss, and then after that, you never see her again.
Yep.
Like what the fuck was up with that? Like
Yeah. That would be like if all of the marketing for Resident Evil 7 was based only on Jack Baker. And you barely got to see the fucking rest of the family. But like at least with RE7, like in the earliest shit, you got to see the whole fucking family at the table, and you're like, okay, we're fighting the whole fucking family. But no, with RE8, it's just big boobas and all in your face.
Booba.
Booba. Please step on me. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Lady D is sexual. Lady D's hot.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
But like,
Sorry.
did she really need to be the fucking central focus of the marketing? Because we all still would have been making those jokes. We all still would have been saying, "Damn, she kind of got it going on." Even if they would have showed us all of the characters. That fucking what was that fucking dude with the stupid fucking glasses named?
Not Holtzman. What was it?
It's the dude who fucking speaks weird. He speaks like fucking.
No, yeah. He's the. Yeah, his factory. His factory.
He speaks like fucking fucking Wilson Fisk in Daredevil. Like, he speaks really odd, but like if they'd have shown him more, that would have been nice. We kind of got to see a little bit of the Duke. Hello, Mr. Winters. We kind of got to see a little bit of him in the marketing, but it's like all the other secondary characters and secondary antagonists, they're all like in the background. You know what I mean?
Heisenberg. There we go.
Heisenberg. That
I knew it started with an H.
Can't believe I forgot that, even though I love Breaking Bad. But like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like Lady D was way over advertised, and the game just wasn't as fun, and it felt way more action heavy than RE7 did at its climax. You know what I mean?
Well, I honestly only felt that during the last like maybe fourth of the game. I didn't really notice that otherwise.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I just felt like the tension and the gameplay weren't escalating at the same rate. Like, the tension was like really slowly climbing, but the gameplay was like, here's a fucking Chris Redfield level where it's Call of Duty. I was like, slow the fuck down.
I want you to know, right? I was talking with my partner, right? And she was basically with me for like almost the entire time, but she had to go somewhere. And I told her, I'm playing a Call of Duty level. I'm closing this game, and I'm not finishing it. I don't care how good or bad the rest of the game is. I'm not finishing it because as soon as it got to Chris Redfield, I was like, no, this is bad. This is so bad.
The only like takeaway that I had from that was like, Not a Hero was good because it was a separate thing. Because it wasn't in the fucking middle of Resident Evil 7. Imagine if End of Zoe and Not a Hero were both just shoved into the middle of RE7. It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Like,
no, not at all.
And that's what RE8 does. And like, I think it introduces a lot of shit that didn't need to fucking be there. Like the whole fucking the Metamucite being the fucking like, it's like they tried to do the fucking progenitor plot point again, but with the Metamucite, and I don't think it worked. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Like, I think like, and they like reference the fucking boulder punching Easter egg, and that was a real groaner for me because I just, for the longest time, I just preferred to think that was an exaggeration of what really happened. But no, I'm gonna kill that boulder punching asshole. God damn it, Resident Evil!
They fucking said the thing.
You can't leave that goofy shit in the past.
Okay, wait. I wanted to go back for a second.
Good.
To what you were saying earlier. You know, I think the whole reason that Lady D was like the main marketing or yeah, main character used for marketing was because just the rest of the characters just aren't interesting.
Yup.
Like, if they didn't use her, what the fuck would they show? Ooh, scary doll. Really got me there.
Oh, man with a creepy accent. Ooh, fucking we. Like, if she were in the role of, like, Mother Miranda. If Mother Miranda didn't exist, and it was Lady Dimitrescu, who was the ultimate big bad, that would make sense
That
to
would
me.
have made more sense than
Right.
what actually
That would
happened
have been
in
a
the game.
lot better, you know. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
these side villains suck, but these are all sub-bosses compared to big booba vampire zombie woman who's fucking got this weird fucking eldritch form, wherever the fuck that was. That would have been a good ending. That's the regular Resident Evil formula.
Yeah.
That's how
yeah.
every other game does it. It's tried and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
No.
I just didn't care by the time Lady D died. One, because the other villains weren't as good, and two, because I also don't like Ethan Winters and his family and their storyline.
You really? Even with the ending?
I don't. I just don't think
Interesting.
Ethan Winters is a good enough protagonist because he kind of isn't one. He is the blankest of slates. He is like if Caden Alenko were the playable character of Mass Effect. That's what Ethan Winters is. The blandest bread. While this nigga got married in the first place, Mia must have settled for his ass. You know what I mean? But I just don't care when Ethan Winters is like suffering because I'm just like, damn. Sucks to be him, but he's got like no personality. You know?
Yeah, no, I got you.
At least compared to people like fucking Chris or Jill or Leon and Claire. We'll get to them in a minute. We'll get to Leon and Claire in a minute.
Yeah.
We're saving them for after we're done talking about Village, because we're definitely gonna discuss Infinite Darkness.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean we could talk about that right now if we wrap up what we're talking about Village. But I just like, for me at least, it delivered a satisfactory package. But I still prefer Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's as much as I gotta say.
That's basically exactly what I was saying when I finished the game.
Yeah, and to branch off of that a little bit, have you played Re:Verse at all?
Wait, Re:Verse? Wasn't that the
The multiplayer.
was
thing.
that the game attached? That was
Yes.
yeah, okay. Then I didn't know that released. Like I saw it in my library.
It's in my library,
Oh.
yeah. And I want to just know, have you played it yet?
I have not because I didn't know that it was available yet.
I've seen a little bit of gameplay, and it looks like shit. Like, I already thought it was going to be
Really?
shit, but it looks like... Dude, they've got Jack Baker in the fucking game, right? And you know what
Oh,
they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
do? They didn't bring back his VA to do new voice lines. So, when
Wait, what
Jack
the
Baker,
fuck?
like, kills you, it's, welcome to the family, son.
That's so
I
disgusting.
stunted the delivery on that because that's how it sounds. They literally ripped it out of the game and had to cut it for some fucking reason. Like, hey, Capcom, did you guys delete all your sound files? You guys
Like,
couldn't have just dug that
that's-
fucking raw line up out of like a fucking folder or something? Just get the full welcome to the family,
Seriously.
son. Rather than just welcome to the family, son. It's like it sounds,
Oh,
it just
God.
looks like shit. Like we said last episode, nobody fucking wants to play competitive multiplayer Resident Evil. That's not what this franchise is good for. Co-op, another story. Co-op is good stuff. But
yeah.
but competitive multiplayer, that's not what we go to Resident Evil for. So
Yeah, I just checked and it says that it's a pre-order, so I don't really know.
that's a weird
Oh.
fucking thing to bundle in with a full price release.
Dude, they are that desperate for players that they hope that they forget that this is installed onto their consoles. Like, yo, you know what? I'll give this a shot. They are that desperate, bro. They are that desperate.
What is taking up all this space? Re:Verse? Might as well give it a holy fuck, this sucks! So, I'm not gonna pretend to understand what the fuck Capcom, like, is going through Capcom's head, ever. But, I just don't care. Like, RE8 was good. That's the last I'm gonna hear of it until, like, a year or two from now when I decide to replay it. So,
Yeah.
that's it for me. Unless they release
No,
any
I agree.
DLCs for it, in which case, hey, I'll fucking re-download that. I'll re-download.
Yeah.
I'll download Resident Evil 4 remake when that fucking game comes out. No way they're not gonna fucking make that game, given all the shit that's in Resident Evil Village and all the systems
Yeah.
that they totally ripped out of RE4 to put into Resident Evil Village. That game is definitely coming, and they already kind of like announced that it was a development, kind of, and we already kind of knew it existed. But
Yeah.
like now it's like, okay, we're just waiting on the fucking release date and the price now. That's all we're waiting on. So. With that being said about Resident Evil Village, Infinite Darkness, something infinitely more interesting.
No, that was good. That was good. I'll give you that one.
Segues are my speciality.
I want to hear your thoughts first this time.
I am excited. One, because it's the grand return of of Leon and Claire. It's not Resident Evil 2 remake, which some people would say that, but no, this is post RE6 Leon and Claire, and they're teaming up for whatever the fuck is gonna be going down in this fucking show. I have faith that Netflix will deliver, given how good Castlevania's been and how good a lot of their video game content has been on the Netflix platform. I'm fairly confident that this will at least, if not be great, be really entertaining. Because the CG RE series, not always the most RE. There's that one fucking weird ass fight scene with Chris and that fucking dude where they're like not touching each other. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So CG RE up to this point has always been like kind of a gamble, but they've got some good talent behind it. They're bringing back the actors for Leon and Claire from Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is a good fucking sign that they might come back to reprise those characters' roles in the future. I mean, this is officially produced by Capcom, isn't it?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I thought it was like officially like Netflix was making it, but Capcom was like, here, have all of this shit. I thought that was the case, but I mean, if it's not, it's not. But it doesn't look like it's gonna suck. It looks incredibly good so far, and that's the best thing I can say about it, is that it doesn't look like fucking dog shit.
I'm just glad that the franchise is finally branching out to extend its universe and not make shitty live action movies. So there's that.
Okay, look, man. At least they were fun to watch.
Okay, you know what? Fine. I wouldn't know, because when I was a kid and I watched those movies, I was sitting behind a pillow basically the entire time. So I could be wrong, but
if you go back and you rewatch them,
I haven't heard the best things about it. No, I actually never have, just because I've completely lost interest.
Okay, look, man. Those are directed by, I believe, Paul W.S. Anderson, right? Yes, Paul W.S. Anderson. And those movies, at least the early ones, very much feel like an excuse to show off his wife's rockin' bod. But I do have to admit that they're so schlocky and kind of bad that I do enjoy watching them on occasion. Not like Afterlife or whatever, but like if I'm like aided by certain substances of dubious legality.
Whoa.
With some friends.
Right. We don't want to get banned.
With some friends and a pizza or two, they are a fun watch. They are a good, enjoyable ride with some incredibly schlocky, over-the-top action. No one gives a shit about the story because, look, man, Alice is the main fucking character. Jill and Chris show up, and Wesker shows up and shit. No one fucking cares. It's just it's just fun. It's just fun. They're bad, but they're fun. That's all I gotta say about those.
See, like your entire point is that you gotta be like poisoned in some way, try watching them when you're not, and then
yes, they're bad, but they're fun. That's what I can say about them. That's the best thing I can say. But fucking back to Infinite Darkness, though. I don't know. It looks like it'll be sort of the same vibe as like Revelations and Revelations 2 kind of thing. where they've got like a heavily integrated sort of not killing monsters plot. I know they made another CG movie starring Leon and Claire some years back, I believe. If I can find that.
Let me see.
Yes.
I can help you.
I'm pretty sure they made one. It was like Degeneration and Damnation. That's what those are. From 2008 and 2012. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that those exist, and
wait, another one called Resident Evil Vendetta.
oh, what the fuck is this?
Don't know what the
that's
what the fuck
something.
it is.
That's
You
something.
see the art for it, right?
Yes, it's got fucking Leon and what looks to be a right before Resident Evil 8 Chris, even though this came out in 2017 after 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen Vendetta, but I guess I might have to. Hey, it's got Rebecca Chambers in it? Sign me up. All right, we're done. It's a watch. After this podcast concludes, I'm going to find a totally legal service to watch this on. Shit, you had me at Rebecca Chambers, dog. Look, man, I may be fucking 2 decades old, but like Rebecca, my heart belongs to you. Okay.
Fair, honestly, fair.
Yeah. When I was younger, Rebecca Chambers was like the shit. Now, not so much. But you know what? Like, all right, weird fucking topic. Okay. But like, the Resident Evil best girl, who you got though?
Okay, like my child self wants to say Ada, like obviously fucking Ada.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really, last time I even considered this, it was still Ada, but I'm not sure if my mind has changed on that.
I can completely understand that, especially now that Ada showed back up in RE2R. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta agree.
Shoddy, a little baddie.
Shoddy, like, okay. Oh man, I just speak in shit posts. But yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. I can see that. See, for me, it's like a tie between like Ada and New Claire.
I was considering that, like when you asked me right there. I was like, eh.
Cause
No, but yeah, totally get why you would pick her too, though.
Because there's like this video of Stephanie Panicello reacting like a bunch of fucking RE2R mods, and she kind of put it perfectly. She was like, RE2, it kind of felt like Capcom was like leaning into like the Cleon shit a little bit. Where they're like, dig Leon and Claire wanna fuck? And I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, when I first played the original Resident Evil 2, that's like not the vibe that I got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like not at all what I was thinking. Cause I was just like, man, I'm so terrified. Might have to poopy in my shorts. You know what I mean? But like, now that RE2R's come out, you can kind of see that like Claire kind of wants the meat from Leon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She wants that nightstick.
Hey.
Oh man, I am like a fucking weirdo. But
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you.
I don't know, man. I've just spent so much time in my life debating about fucking anime girls on the internet that like this shit just this shit comes
second
naturally
nature at
to
this
me.
point, bro. This second nature, it's like shit.
I've
You haven't
been
forgotten your old way.
nigga, I've been defending this shit with my life. I've been defending Hinata for years, my nigga. And now I have to that was an odd silence. What fucking facial expression did you make?
What? No.
Oh,
just
I was about to
listening.
say, cause like you just gave like no response, and I was figuring you would have been like, "What the fuck, Hinata?"
Fuck.
And that's the response I expected, cause I'm conditioned to hear people call me a fucking idiot for that. But
Are
no,
you forgetting? Are you forgetting who I am? Hello.
Joe, you're the nigga who roasted me on the first episode because I like An and Yukiko, and fucking can't decide whether or not I like Mitsuru or Yukari more.
Okay. All right. Fair.
That crushed me deep, Joe, because I'm a simp
I'll give you
for
that.
Yukiko,
You
Joe.
know. You know.
I own a figure of her on my fucking collection, dog. She's on my fight stick, Joe. She's on my fight stick.
He's been right this entire time. I am gonna bully him for it.
Why? What's your problem with them, dog?
I'm playing, Shawty. I'm playing.
Niggas roast me for my opinions, Joe. I get so defensive.
Bro, you're saying that. You're saying that. All right, but like I have actually been considering this, right? If I had the space like above my desk or something, or just somewhere where I can, set like drawers over or whatever, so I can well, like I would totally get anime figures. The fuck, like.
No, man, I saw you roast me for the opinion of liking fucking bland ass girls, as so many people have said on my timeline.
Actually, since that last conversation, I've been like peering back into Persona 4, and I gotta say, you know what? I take back that Yukiko take. I kind of get it. I kind of get the hype.
Yeah, this aided by the fact that literally everybody coming out the fucking woodwork now talking about I was a fan of Yukiko. Thank you, fucking Medi, not the bad guy. Thank you, fucking Sugar Punch Productions, for fucking putting out that Abitorial talking about how good Yukiko's character was the whole time.
Where did this come from? I actually haven't seen this. What the fuck?
I'll have to send you these videos because Medi made a video about it, and there was an Abitorial about it, both about Yukiko and how like misunderstood her character was because of a fucking dumb meme that Pat from the Best Friends started perpetuating years ago.
Oh god.
About how Yukiko's like mad indecisive or whatever. And like I kind of get that, but also I don't. I don't know. I just really like Yukiko a lot. Shame her voice actress is fucking nuts, but still.
Man, if only there was a certain event that happened in the game that could, see the progression of, that not happening as much. Oh, that's right. Social links. Oh, damn, you got me. You got me, man.
People just never hit the rank 10. Just never got the rank 10, man. And I was obsessed with getting the rank 10 for everybody, for all my party members. I don't know, Persona 4 and 3 just had some kind of like god tier waifus, low-key. Like fucking Mitsuru, Yukari. We're gonna ignore Fuka. Chihiro.
Fuka does not exist.
Fuka didn't exist until Persona 4 Arena. I'm just gonna say that. She didn't exist until then. Fucking Mitsuru, Yukari, Chihiro. Who was that black girl in Persona 3?
The black girl? Oh, for the
from the
sporting?
Yeah, from the club, yeah.
Oh, yeah. From one of the 3 clubs.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
Those are like, yeah, me too. But they're like great. Persona 4, all the main investigation team members are kind of great. You see, you got Chie, Yukiko, Naoto, Kanji, good wife. Look, man, I gotta make that joke every time because I'm like a kanji simp. I mean, the old logo had my half represented as kanji, so I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of the half of the old logo, we totally got an announcement for Stone Ocean, didn't we?
Oh my god, we did.
We did. Man, that Joestar Inherited Soul event was a fucking roller coaster. Because okay, for the listeners at home, during like certain parts of this event, I was totally blowing up Joe's phone like, yo, this shit sucks. Like
I would be texting you. Like, we would be back and forth. Like, you saw this fucking subtitle, right?
Yeah, right. Yo, the subtitles were so fucking bad. Oh, they were so bad. Like, they were like live subtitling it. Like, my thing is like, right? Why couldn't you guys have just recorded this like a week ago and then fully subtitled it and then put it out? Y'all could have done it like the day before. You know what I mean?
I don't get that, because like there was nothing that happened in the event that would indicate that it's live.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't like interact with the quote unquote audience, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't turn to the
But,
camera and be like, "What was your favorite JoJo moment?" Like it's like some Dora or some
tweet
shit.
hashtag blah 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 blah. Yeah, like they didn't do any of that shit.
Right.
I don't see why they couldn't have just been like, Oh, let's not talk about the price either. Let's not talk
It's
about
like $44.
let's not talk about that price. Let's not.
Oh man, because look, man, we're far enough out from the event. We totally paid for it. We totally bought that, and it was kind of a
Oh,
ripoff. Like for those subtitles, and for what we ended up getting, for it was like an hour and a half, or like 2 hours, wasn't it?
It was almost two. Dude, it was almost 2 hours of complete bullshit that we couldn't understand. And we had no idea. We got fucking Duwing subtitles.
We got doing subtitles on an official shit. Yo, it's like, okay, look, live voice acting in like that's like some Japanese ass shit, but that's really cool. It's really cool, and I like watching those videos from time to time. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But paying $44
For the experience that you got.
for 90 minutes. I'm saying this as someone who lives in America, okay? For Japanese fans, it was probably fun. Because y'all niggas actually speak the language, you know what I mean? I don't speak
Right.
enough Japanese for that to be enjoyable to me. I can read the menus on some of my Japanese games. That's as far as it goes for me. Gotta fucking pick up my Babbel and Duolingo lessons, you know what I mean? But fucking, like, for those shitty-ass subtitles, which is part of what you're paying for, it wasn't worth it. And you got 90 minutes of live voice acting that pretty much nobody cared about until like something big and explosive would happen in each of their sessions, which was cool, you know? But like it was only like the last like 15 minutes when Stone Ocean got announced, you know, that everybody gave a shit. And that's when I was hype as fuck. That's when I was leaping out of my fucking chair and fucking shucking and jiving in my room and shit, you know what I mean? Because that was what we came there for.
Exactly.
But it took 90 minutes out of like an hour 45 to get there. It just wasn't it wasn't what we needed to see.
Man.
Like, was the fucking Golden Wind reveal that bad?
Dude, that's the thing. Like the Golden Wind reveal was basically all about the new event. Like the very first one, it was all about the new part. It was all about the new part. This one, it was every other part and then part 6. I was like,
Ooh boy. Sure wanted to fucking hear Jonathan's VA do the damn Sunlight Yellow Overdrive again. Because they recorded that shit for the anime, and for fucking J-Stars, and for fucking All-Star Battle, and for Eyes of Heaven, and for all the other live voice acting sessions, and for this. I would fucking be so tired. Them niggas must love JoJo, because even that would push my fucking fandom to the limits. If I had to just keep doing that same shit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And at least fucking Daisuke... Huh?
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at least Daisuke Ono still has to appear again for Stone Ocean. You know?
Yeah.
At least he has to come back. But the niggas for fucking Giorno and Josuke and young Joseph, they don't. It's not like old Joseph can go back because Unshu Ishizuka is, you know, beyond this world, God rest his soul. But still.
Right.
It's like, it just wasn't necessary. What were you gonna say, Joe?
No, I was just gonna say that I honestly, I don't know. I don't. I was just so lost during that entire thing. It was dumb.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's not like we could fucking it's not like we could fucking read what they were trying to say. You know what I mean? Fucking dumb shit. But hey, man, at least Stone Ocean's coming. You know, that was
It's coming sometime
Good.
this year.
finally
Already a
people
win.
won't hate it. Finally, people will get to understand what I like about it so much. Finally.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, hey, look
We'll
at how
see.
much the fucking opinion of Golden Wind changed when that anime adaptation came out. You know.
Was it really that hated? Really?
It was mostly because like the translation was bad. Like I really wasn't a big fan of Golden Wind even before the anime came out. I'm still not the biggest fan of Golden Wind, even though it's pretty good. I'm not like fucking certain YouTubers who make fucking like hour plus long videos about how it's like the deepest shit on the planet.
Of course.
But I just thought it was okay.
Average Twitter anime Twitter user.
Yeah, right. I wasn't like that. I just thought it was okay, because my favorite part will always be like part fucking 4, part 2, part 8. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I mean, cause it fucking better be part 8, because I'd be on the edge of my fucking seat every month when these chapters come out. Especially this month, because chapter 107 was pretty good stuff. The tension's really ramping up with JoJo Lane now, but that's besides the point. Hopefully. And Jolene's voice actress gave her that young Twitter follow, one of my best follows.
Dude, yes.
Yeah. We were there live chatting that shit. Talking about, man, wife time.
I just love how passionate she is about it. Like,
Yup.
that's what really, like, seeing her, start to cry a little bit and get so emotional. I was like, we're in good hands, boys. We're in good hands.
Yeah. That's how you know. They're making the fans are making this anime. Because the niggas at David Pro, they're fans of this series. And to see that they're getting, like, people who are, like, legitimate, like, diehard fans for this shit to actually act in it just lends that much more credence and weight to her performance. You know what I mean?
Right. Like imagine if they hired, like, I don't know, just one of the most famous actors or actresses to fill a role. It's like, oh, okay, it's that person.
Hey, man, that's kind of
Cool.
what Capcom did with Nick Apostolides. He talks all the time about how much he was a fan of Resident Evil, how he plays all of them with his brothers and shit. If you watched, like, the Sphere Hunters streams with him, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like, okay. I just really like it when fans get to give back to series that way, That just really tickles my fancy a lot of the time. So,
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Stone Ocean's going to be great. I just wanted to know who's going to be voice acting my Plankton mama.
You're
Just a crumb.
best girl from part 6.
A crumb, please.
Question mark.
A crumb. Yes, obviously the best girl from part 6. Running up right behind Foo Fighters would be Jolene. Under Jolene, maybe Hermes.
Okay.
Guess. Part 6 had a lot of pretty fire babes. Not gonna lie, pretty fire bitches. Don't forget the bitches.
Weather Report, right? That switched genders, like.
That was Honestly, dog.
Oh wait, no, wait. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right,
Honestly
right.
was like a girl for like 6 chapters, and then he became a he. And it was just never explained. No, Weather Report was always a dude. He was always a himbo.
No, it was like. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of slouched through those first few chapters, so I don't remember.
Oh man,
much from that art.
Shameful. Yeah, Weather Report was cool. Weather Reporto. I mean, Weather Report is the whole fucking reason why people want like Virtual Insanity to be the ending song for Stone
True.
Ocean.
Yeah.
With that fucking, I mean, granted, that video's great.
Yeah,
Video's
of
amazing.
course.
And I'm
It's
a big
just
fan of
other
fucking
songs.
Jamiroquai.
Other songs would fit the bill better.
Well, what do you got? What do you think?
Last time you asked me this, I had no idea.
Mhm.
I still have no idea, but I
That's
just
true.
know that, I'm not a sound manager or sound producer or whoever handles that department.
Yeah.
But, I feel like they know.
See, because the past few parts, like parts 3, 4, and I'd say mostly 3 and 4, they kind of had like pop music from that era. Like the first half of part 3 had "Walk Like an Egyptian," and part 4 had "I Want You."
Mm-hmm.
And you could kind of say that same thing with like the first half of part 5 because they had "Freakin' You" by Jodeci. But like I want like that's my favorite one. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I like it better than
Yeah.
Modern Crusaders.
Modern Crusaders. Even though Modern Crusaders is like thematically relevant. I'm but I want to hear about
the style.
freaking nigga. Yeah.
I want to hear JoJo characters being horny after one of the main characters is dying.
The gay mafia dog. But like I want like contemporary pop music because part 6 is set in like 2011 or something, like early 2010s. Like I want some early 2010s pop music, not gonna lie. Some like
exactly.
I know Araki's a fan of Rihanna, because fucking Daya Higashikata's stand from part 8 is called California King Bed. One of the better Rihanna songs. I know he's a fan of like pop music from like the 2000s because he's got like Lady Gaga and shit, you know. So it's like that's what I want. I want something contemporary, at least for like the first half, you know, or the first 2/3, just something poppy and contemporary, preferably like Katy Perry or Rihanna or something. That's my pick, you know. Doesn't have to be the most fucking thematically themed shit. You know what I mean? If I can be in the credits jamming, that's all I care about.
Fucking imagine you finish the first no, it's the first episodes that don't have. Okay, yeah, the second episode, right? You're like, oh my god, okay, I've been waiting. I hope to see the ending, and it's fucking Firework by Katy Perry. Like, could you imagine that shit?
That would be pretty sick, but that wasn't the song I was thinking of. Or, you know, I was thinking of something else. Like I don't know.
It's just that
it just wouldn't be Firework,
Katy
but that would
Perry,
still
and
be cool.
it just came to my head.
And that's what you think of. I always think of fucking Teenage Dream whenever I think of Katy Perry. For some reason.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because the my brain's RAM is kind of fucked up to where like I can't remember like basic shit, but on tap I can fucking sing Teenage Dream for some reason. Like my it's just fucked up. I don't know why my brain decided let's put this in the forefront so that at any moment we can just do this. Like I don't get it. I don't know why, but whatever the fuck. In any case, Stone Ocean gonna be good. Now, let's move on. So. A little birdie told me that Destiny 2 got a pretty massive update to its customization features, like your guns and your cosmetic upgrades, especially, which was one of my bigger gripes with Destiny 2 when I played it. Mm-hmm. So, would you like elaborate on like what's been going on with that for me?
Man, you brought that up, and I got flashbacks. I got PTSD already. Holy shit.
Let's hear it.
All right. So I gotta say, right now that it's actually been introduced, I gotta say that my opinions aren't as bad as they were, but I still have some gripes with it. For those that aren't aware, before the current season started, which was earlier this month, in a weekly update, Bungie said, "Okay, we're bringing Transmog. This is how it's gonna work, right?" And so the whole concept is that you kill stuff, you get a material. I was like, okay, what do I do with this material? Mm-hmm. You buy a bounty. It's not like you've been grinding bounties for the last, in how many seasons now?
Fucking
5, 6.
It's like 4 years, dog, that Destiny 2's been out, and even more if you count D1.
Just more recently until when the whole season pass became introduced. That's when it became especially bad. Mm-hmm. That's when it became especially bad. But yeah, it's like, okay, I let's say, okay, I finished this bounty. What do I do next? You gotta turn it into the material that you need. And then that material will let you transmog. It's like, so complicated for what it is. Like, if you compare it to games like Final Fantasy 14 and WoW, and I compare it to those games because Destiny in the past has said that it wants to be an MMO. Like, it's trying to be an MMO, so it's fair that you compare it to other MMOs.
Yeah.
In those games, it's literally in the click of a few buttons. It doesn't cost you anything. Well, I don't know about WoW, but in Final Fantasy 14, it costs you prisms, but those super, super easy in the game. You don't have to do much to get them.
Yeah.
And then, compared to Destiny 2, all this grinding shit, which brings it back to what you said at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, bring it full fucking circle, dog.
Grinding is fucking garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, grinding for something that's so easy in any other game.
Yeah, jeez.
It's bad. And then they made it even worse by saying you can only get 10 materials per class that will actually let you transmog each season. That's made it even worse.
Jeez.
Adding a cap to what you could choose to grind is it's like what went through their heads, right? And then they tried to do like crowd control with, oh yeah, but with the next when the season comes out, you can do 20 instead of 10. Like, oh, rubbing salt in the wound at this point. Like,
that's funny.
the way that they announced it was not very good. I gotta say, not at all.
And what about its like actual implementation? Like, is it an overall benefit to Destiny as like a game? Because one of my biggest gripes when I was actually like an active player was that like everybody kind of looked the same,
Hmm.
and that like I kind of got tired of not being able to use my favorite armor pieces because they would eventually be outdated, you know. And it was kind
Right,
of a pain
right.
in the ass to get upgrade modules to keep them on the same level. It's like, is that still there? Is it still kind of a pain in the ass to look the way that you want?
Um, all in all, it's okay for me. Fashion is very important to me as a player,
Yes.
right? And other people, I was like, oh, I don't care how I look. I just want to, perform the best. I just want to have the most abilities thrown, most super use, like yada yada yada. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. You're a loser anyways. Um, but but for me, especially, fashion is very important, right? And I gotta say, with its current implementation, how they do it is they give you, I think, 15 or 10 of the material that you need to transmog, like right off the bat as soon as you finish the quest for it. Which, okay, that's pretty good. So they give us, like, some leeway in that regard. And of those that they give you, I haven't used all of them, and I already look how I want to. So it's, for me hasn't been that bad. And I haven't really heard any complaints about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the whole having a cap concept is what really pissed people off, and especially me. Because I was like, okay, well, if I'm choosing to do this, why are you not letting me? Why are you not letting me do it?
Right.
So,
Like,
but
grinding's
yeah,
already a
with it,
big enough pain in the ass, and now you're telling me that I can't grind as much as I need to.
yeah, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But also along with that, the bounties that they give you, I kind of noticed that you get them done passively. Like, you don't have to actually go out grind for them. Like, you'll just, like, it gives you bounty for, like, Crucible, Gambit, strikes, raids, dungeons, and just like roaming activities,
Mm-hmm.
like a free roam activities.
Yeah.
If you go do those activities, you don't have to be actively grinding because you're passively gonna get it. Like in Crucible, it's like, oh, get 150 solar kills and win, I don't know, 2 games, 3 games. You're using solar weapons anyway while you're playing Crucible, so it's not that bad. It's just,
Okay.
again, it just comes back. It just comes back to the idea that there's a cap for it, and that's just not okay. And the only solution, I haven't brought it up, but the only solution to that is money.
Oof. Oh man, that had to enter the equation at some point, didn't it?
So
Damn. That's unfortunate, but you know what? It's not like I'm on the inside looking out, you know. I'm always with Destiny on the outside looking in. So,
right.
interesting to hear an actual Destiny player's take on it because I get told a lot. Because I have a lot of friends who are Destiny players, a lot of family who are Destiny players.
Hmm.
And so I hear about it a lot. So I at least wanted your take on it because you are like one of the more prominent Destiny players that I know.
Right.
But, you know, this is like coming off the launch of like Outriders, you know what I mean? Yet another.
Let's not talk about that.
No, we're going to do it.
Oh
Because
man.
I've got an
Are
idea to
we
propose.
going to?
Yes. Because I
We're
got an
going
idea to
to talk
propose.
about it.
Yes, we fucking are.
Oh man. Oh man.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So we're getting some low hanging fruit. I see. All right.
low
Go
hanging
on.
fruit. I think just the overall like non-success. I mean, it's a success by Square Enix's standards, but by everybody else's standards, everybody's going back to Destiny at this point, and that's
Yeah.
kind of my point with what I want to bring up. So, I kind of had this idea like a month or so, like a month and a half ago, called the Destiny
Mhm.
cycle, or as I
Oh
call it,
right.
because I'm a
Yeah. I
fucking
saw.
narcissist, Adam's Law,
Yeah.
where it's
I
like a
remember seeing this. Go
three-stage
on.
cycle broken up into 9 individual steps that always happens with games like the Division 1 and 2, Anthem, and Outriders.
Mhm.
And kind of you saw it with Borderlands 3, how people just drop that fucking game like a
Oh
sack of
yeah.
bricks. Where it's like, you
Well,
play.
Borderlands 3 just had its own problems. That's
Yes.
like all of this that was going on just kind of like added to it.
Yes, but you got to admit, if there was any game that was going to take the sort, that was going to try and steal Destiny's thunder of the current big looter shooter, it would have been Borderlands. You'd have expected it to be Borderlands,
Right.
because Borderlands is like the modern looter shooter, you know.
I got you.
But like it kind of goes like this. So stage 1, right? Tell me if I'm spitting any fucking lies while I read this out, okay? Stage
Right,
1.
go ahead.
You got Destiny. It's called Destiny. Step 1. You play Destiny. Step 2. You complain about it endlessly. Step 3. Whenever some new content releases, Destiny suddenly becomes the best shit ever. Okay? Moving on to stage number 2. We got step 4. A new always online cooperative looter shooter gets announced. Step 5. You're loving all the news. Step 6. You think it's going to be even better than Destiny. Starting to sound a little bit familiar to how the Destiny community acts, doesn't it? Stage 3.
Yup.
The return. Step 7. The game releases. Step 8. It sucks. Boring, comma. Generic, comma. Same gameplay as Destiny but slightly worse, comma. Bad story, comma. No endgame content, etc., etc. And step 9. You go back to Destiny. Rinse, repeat, ad infinitum. And like I said, this happened with The Division 1 and 2. This happened with Anthem, and it just happened again with Outriders.
I gotta say that's entirely accurate. That is from the time that I was like back like during high school when we were both in high school, Adam.
Uh-huh.
Like at that time, I would have been part of that cycle. I'm so happy that I just stopped caring about it. Like stopped caring about like I still care about Destiny, but like the entire genre besides that, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, Destiny's the only kind of, like, always online looter shooter that's kind of worked. It's the only one that's maintained a consistent, sustained, like, business model, sustained player base. You know what I mean?
Right.
Since fucking D1. It's just maintained that sort of steam, maintained that hype. And it seems like Activision isn't going to stop adding shit to... Or Bungie, because they left Activision, isn't going to stop adding stuff to Destiny 2, because now they've got ports on the newer gen consoles, the Series X and the PS5. And it seems like that train isn't going to run out of steam anytime soon. And it's like, how many
For sure.
always online, cooperative looter shooters are going to come out and die before that genre just lets Destiny hold all the thunder? How many more
Honestly.
examples need to be made?
How many more victims do we need?
For real. It's like, nothing against Destiny, but like, man, they're doing something right. As much as I'm not a fan of what they're doing something right to where every other game literally cannot compete.
Dude, it's crazy because like some days there will be over 1 million people online, and that's a lot more than even some current MMOs, or even some current like big game of the month.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's just, they're doing something okay. Whether or not it's like the FOMO, or it's just that the content is really that good, I couldn't tell you. But I it's not that I don't want other people to try, it's that they're not trying in the right ways. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree. I agree.
It's
It
like,
doesn't help that it's fucking Bungie behind it, and they probably have the most experience in shooters than any other current developer.
pretty much, like, they made the defining shooter before Call of Duty
The
came around.
fucking dude, yeah, the fucking yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I wouldn't expect developers like fucking Ubisoft or fucking... Is Outriders made by Squeenix? Was it at least
Dude,
published by them?
I fucking one of my friends used that acronym, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I said
But
Squeenix
yeah,
before.
it was.
But it's like,
Outrageous.
you'd think that they would have had the fucking their foot in the door, because they made fucking FF14, and that game still has a player base.
No, yeah, for sure. The difference is trying to translate like a game like Final Fantasy 14 into a shooter. That's what Bungie perfected. Square Enix, like, oh yeah, we have abilities, we have all this cool stuff, but the shooting sucks. So
Like, I don't know. It just like I don't remember D2 coming out fucking broken.
well,
Did it?
it
Because
was
it doesn't it didn't
broken in the sense, that there were many bugs at launch, but like it performed well, like it ran well, like there was nothing wrong with it.
yeah, like because with Outriders it came out and it was like bugged to shit. You know, you
Fucking
saw
people couldn't
people
even
like
log in for the first how long, like week.
it's like what is this Diablo 3? Like like fucking it, like it just didn't feel like it stumbled out the gate. It feels like it came out already, you know.
Right, right.
And it didn't feel that way with like the Division or Division 2 or especially Anthem. Like like I don't get why it feels like the rush for every production studio to have a cinematic universe. Destiny right now is like the MCU of always online looter shooters. They're just doing something well to where they can get millions of players just consistently. And everyone else, fucking Anthem, like the Dark Universe, stumbled before it could even start. Okay? Fucking Division, they're like the DCEU. I'm pretty sure Division 2 is still getting content. You know.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they did announce that new Division game, which is supposed to be a fucking battle royale. So I guess
They
that
are
doesn't count.
trying, at least.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like, and fucking Outriders is gonna be whatever it turns out to be because we're only in the infant stages of its roadmap. You know what I mean? But
Are you implying that you expect that to go anywhere?
I don't know if it will, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know if
Okay.
it will go anywhere. If it does, good for fucking them. Have fun trying to outdo Destiny. And God fucking speed to you. Best of luck. Best of wishes, Square Enix. Hopefully, you guys do fine. Because I'm a fan of Square Enix's games. They've got some really interesting shit. Like, FF7 Intergrade is coming out this year. I believe like, in like the next like couple weeks, actually. That's launching. Fucking Outriders is going to be getting content all throughout this year. Then there's a new Life is Strange coming out. It's like, you guys can do this shit, you know. I think there's just like a problem with like JP devs, honestly. Like just the way that they decide to develop and make money. I think the way they decide to push their studios that they're only publishing games for.
Right.
I think it's just like JP devs are so used to like making money and making games a certain way that like having to make them differently is very hard. You know. You have to make an MMO that is simultaneously a shooter. Those two things are kind of hard to blend, and only one game's gotten them right. You know.
Right.
So I kind of I don't necessarily like sympathize, but I also don't necessarily feel good about their struggle either. So I'm very on the fence about it. We'll have to see where Outriders goes because as of right now, I'm insanely uninterested in it, and that's just the just the default state for me and always on the looter shooters as a genre. I'm just not really interested in them because they're mostly just grind fests that are aided by the fact that all of them are co-op, you know? And everything is more fun with friends. So they're going to have to really pull a fucking rabbit out of the hat to fucking impress me. Because right now I'm looking at games that are like way less in scale than Outriders. Games like fucking Watch Dogs Legion. I'm hyped for what those fucking guys are doing, you know? I am, like, genuinely. I've got to say that I am happy with the way that Ubisoft has treated that game, and its content going forward, and its roadmaps, and their actual honest communication with fans. I'm proud of them for that because that's been something that they weren't really good at before. Because they're also totally covering up sexual assaults that happened to their employees. Let's not forget that happened. Let's not forget that the higher ups at Ubisoft are total pieces of shit. Not directing this at the devs who are in the trenches. Or the people who are directing the games, but the people who are running the company, running the corporation, are total bastards. And that needs to be said as loud and as clear as possible.
And, you know, bringing that up just reminded me that fucking today with the Far Cry 6 announcement.
Mm-hmm.
People were just forgot that even fucking existed. Forgot that even happened. They're
Yep.
like, oh my god, just got my pre-order.
That's what I said. As soon as that thing finished, this looks great. This looks promising. Ubisoft as a company sucks.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Far Cry 6 announcement, if I may ask? Or the Far Cry 6 gameplay?
I actually didn't watch it.
Okay, here's what I have to say, because I'm a longtime fan of Far Cry. I'm a pretty big fan of this series.
Yeah, because I tried, like obviously I played 3, but I tried 4 and 5, and I was like, eh.
4
I
wasn't
kinda
great.
forgot about
I
it.
don't blame you for not liking 4, because 4 was, for all intents and purposes, a PS4 version of 3. It wasn't good because it treaded too much ground and relied too much on Troy Baker's performance as Pagan Min to work as well as it did, because Far Cry 3 worked a lot because of Michael Mondo's performance as Voss. Voss is on the cover for a reason. He's the standout character of that game. Far Cry 3's got a lot of narrative. It's got a lot of its narrative and its gameplay are very much supported by each other, and that's good. And it set up the template of the Ubisoft tower climbing open world, fucking collectible clearer for a reason, because it was good, you know.
Right.
But 4 was just a straight up retread of 3. Even when I picked that game up, when I was 13 years old when that game came out, even when I picked it up, I said, "This game is just Far Cry 3." They borrowed so many animations, so much of the gameplay loop from Far Cry 3, and I don't blame them, because Far Cry 3 worked, but they had to do something better than that. Far Cry 5 was a noticeable upgrade because of how much bigger and how much better it was than 4. How much more stuff they added in, but even that game had a lot of shortcomings, because some of the villains sucked. A lot of the gameplay loop was just the same, and the DLCs were pretty poor. And so Far Cry 6 is like, how can you guys do better? And it looked really good when it started out. You got this revolution aesthetic, which the devs said that they're going to approach it apolitically, which is fucking stupid, considering the subject matter and the aesthetic they're trying to draw on. That being the Cuban Revolution, fucking stupid, I know.
Okay.
But they've got a
odd take already. Okay.
yeah, really odd fucking way to approach that, but they got a very amazing actor to play their main villain, that being Giancarlo Esposito of Breaking Bad and Mandalorian and all other kind of shit fame. They've got an interesting setting, that being it's like a fucking Latin Hispanic country. I think it's like a Caribbean country. An interesting looking main character I believe her name is like Dina or something. She looks pretty cool. But I think the one thing that I'm the most worried about, because other than like just whether or not the game's going to just retread the same ground as 5, is the weapon choice. It feels really weird. You're like making rocket launchers. Like, it feels like Dead Rising 3 in a way, where you're like making rocket launchers out of like motorcycle engines, and you're, instead of shooting like a saw blade out of a gun, you're shooting like CDs, and it's like, it's going in this like really Saints Row 3 direction that's really putting me off. And I don't like Saints Row 3 because of the things that they added to that series. And it feels like it's kind of treading in that direction. And I'm hoping that they kind of dial it back a bit, and that this is just a few scant things, you know. But you're shooting rockets out of a fucking backpack in this game. So
Okay.
the shark seems like it's going to be jumped at some point soon. And that's kind of a bit worrying. But despite my caution, I'm going to buy the game on release, because I have enough faith that this series will get better. I have faith, because Far Cry has had more hits than it has had misses to this point. So I'm hoping to God Ubisoft can pull off a fucking miracle. With Watch Dogs Legion, it looks like they're doing okay. They've got a pretty good content roadmap that's going to be providing us content for to the end of the month and beyond. Aiden Pierce is going to be coming to Watch Dogs Legion at the end of June. They're going to have an Assassin's Creed crossover that looks really interesting, you know. And I'm hoping that Ubisoft is starting to turn itself around, because after like Assassin's Creed 4 launched, they really weren't on top, gotta say.
Right.
The Crew 1 and 2, poor. Very poor.
Oh, terrible.
The best racing game ever made is still fucking Midnight Club Los Angeles.
Yep.
In my like,
Hard agree.
and it's like fucking the Crew 1 and 2 are poor. Fucking Watch Dogs 1 and Watch Dogs 2, as much as I like those games, really could have done way better. Could have been way better. Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate, and I don't like any of the modern Assassin's Creeds. I'm gonna say that full throat. I don't like them.
Wait, you don't like any of the modern?
Nope.
No, like what is it?
Like fucking Origins and Odyssey and
Oh, Assassin's Creed. Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't like any
This is
of
that
them.
you had cut out and I didn't hear you.
Gonna be honest, I don't like any of them.
Okay, that's fair.
They feel like they're
Yeah.
trying to just be The Witcher 3. You know, and it's like they're relics of that 2015 to 2017 era where every game had to fucking be the next Witcher 3, the next Breath of the Wild. You
Right.
know? And it feels like they're just stuck in that era. And I want them to go back because the Assassin's Creed formula worked. It's just that they kept thinking that it was the bad elements that worked rather than the good elements.
Okay.
You know, so I don't have much. I don't know. Ubisoft as a company is a very touchy subject. They're rapists.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
But I don't have an opinion on this because I haven't played since Brotherhood, which I'm told was the last good one besides
No.
3.
I hard disagree with that because
3.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was great.
I don't know. That's
The
just what I've
pirate
heard. I'm not part of that community.
They cap
This is like what I've heard. But so I mean, there's that.
Yeah. Speaking of
I hope it
franchise,
goes well. I hope it goes well, but also fuck you, Ubisoft.
yeah, fuck you. Be more honest with the public about what you guys are doing behind closed doors and apologize to those employees and properly recompensate them or do whatever you have to do to make it right. Quit running from that. Anyways, so we had a little fucking SEGA Direct or whatever the fuck that was like a couple days ago. It really does feel like SEGA just was like, Nintendo's doing those, let's make our own. For whatever the fuck Sonic's got going on.
This just does what Nintendo don't.
Sega does what Nintendo don't, like working with organized crime fucking groups to get their games produced. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not even joking about that. They've totally gotten funding from the Japanese mob. Anyways, yeah, it's like a bit of an open secret, but I digress. Sonic announcements. They're totally re-releasing Sonic Colors, which is a good sign. Because that's one of the better 3D Sonics.
Ooh, yep.
Because
One
like
of the last good
the best 3D Sonics, we got like Sonic Heroes, which we've totally talked about before.
Yes, we have.
It was always good.
I'm
Y'all
not
niggas was just
talk
hating.
about it.
Generation, Sonic Adventure 2, Unleashed, and now Colors. Those are like the 5 best 3D Sonics.
Yeah.
And it's getting its own like remaster, re-release sort of thing, which is good to see. Apparently, it seemed like they kind of like announced that like the original Sonic games 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles were all going to get re-released in like an Origins collection, which good sign. But they said they're going to talk more about it, and y'all motherfucking better mention Christian Whitehead's name, because y'all would not be working on this kind of shit, or like y'all wouldn't have released Sonic Mania if he didn't fucking carry these games on his back.
Straight up.
Give him the credit he deserves, motherfuckers. Okay.
God.
Honestly. And then fucking a new game is in development. And all I got from that dumbass foot video was like a promise from Sega. We promise we won't fuck it up this time.
Yeah,
Because
okay. I don't have a lot of faith. I'm gonna be honest.
Neither does anyone else, dude. Neither does anyone else. Like,
but we'll see.
I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna do it.
Sure.
Like a total fucking sucker, like a total simp. I'm gonna give Sega the benefit of the doubt and hope that this new Sonic game, foot and ankle ligament simulator, whatever the fuck they're developing, is gonna be good. All right, but y'all are already on some pretty thin ice.
We'll see. We'll see. Like, I have optimism, but at the same time, I'm bracing for impact. Oh,
Yeah, we all are, man. We all are. We're all ready for this game to flop and for them to just go back to cashing in on the old fucking 2D Sonic nostalgia wave like they've been doing. But come on, man. Y'all have to at least bring the fucking heat for the 30th anniversary. That's kind of a fucking hard anniversary to fuck up. Speaking as a fan, as a person who watched Nintendo actively fuck up the 35th anniversary for Mario, come on. Lest we forget Super Mario 3D All Stars. I'll never let Nintendo
Ooh.
off the hook for that one.
Oh, I love having limited time DLC. Ooh.
Yeah, right. Bullshit. That game is bullshit. Okay, just install some fucking jailbreak your Switch. Okay, just jailbreak it. Download an N64 emulator onto it. Okay, just do it because Nintendo's not going to let you play their games in a really good way either. So
Nope.
just go for it. Fuck it.
Not at all.
Speaking of Sega, I got some good news. So you already know
Nope.
I'm a
I
very
know
big
where this is
fan
going.
of Virtua
Yep.
Fighter. We talked about this extensively on the last episode, and
Yeah.
a real shock to the system came when Sega just unleashed Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown onto us, just out of absolutely nowhere. So, some key shit to go down here that really it tickles my pickle. Okay. This game is a ground-up remake of Virtua Fighter 5, keeping the animations, which were already way ahead of their time in 2005 when that game came out. In the Dragon engine, which is the engine used for all the modern Yakuza games, 6, Judgment, Kiwami 2, Like a Dragon, which I finally finished that game, and I totally want to talk about it, because I finally finished it, but it's a ground-up remake of Virtua Fighter in that new engine, with online and all sorts of modes, and I've seen people kind of getting bent out of shape because it doesn't have like rollback netcode, but I'm just glad Virtua Fighter's back because it's been literally dead for 9 years. So
Right.
let's just celebrate that Virtua Fighter 5 is back and that it's going to be free for 2 months on PSN. Let's
really?
2 months.
Oh yeah, because
Yep.
it's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
Yep, PlayStation 4 exclusive. So if you're on PS5, you can use your arcade stick. So let's all just celebrate the Virtua Fighter's back because it's been gone for so long. Because all the other 3D fighters have totally taken up the space that it held. Dead or Alive,
Okay.
in the limited capacity that series is fucking here. You know, the titty loving man's Virtua Fighter. Okay. Soul Calibur, the weapon loving man's Virtua Fighter, and Tekken, the Virtua Fighter for people who hate their parents. Let's just be happy that it's back because I was actually in the middle of writing a skit, you know, where like all of the 3D fighting games would meet. You'd have Soul Calibur, Tekken, and then just Dead or Alive. That's just my normal voice, you know. And then like they'd be discussing where Virtua Fighter went and like how sad they are that it's not coming back. And then like fucking Mortal Kombat would show up or whatever the fuck, and they don't let him in, you know, because Mortal Kombat used to be a 3D game in like the mid 2000s. You know, I was in the middle of writing that, but had to trash that fucking script as soon as Via 5 US just got dumped onto our fucking laps.
Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say.
But
Squatted over just right there.
it's
on your
not
face.
everything I wanted, granted, but I am satisfied that it is here. That's what I'm happy for. I'm just happy that it's here. And that's a real fucking weird ass mindset to have, a real simp ass mentality to have, but you know, let me be happy, okay?
Fair. I think I've seen some complaints about not having rollback. Is this true?
Look, man, Sega because of how many online games they don't make, they totally don't have rollback netcode for this. But I will say that their delay-based netcode is really good. So much so that people still run Virtua Fighter 5 tournaments digitally on the PS3 and Xbox Series consoles and Xbox One because it's backwards compatible. People still run tournaments for it and still play online matches to this day, which for a game with delay-based netcode is a lot fucking longer than any other game with the same kind of netcode would have survived. So that's got to say something. I mean, I want Rollback 2 because it's the best netcode. Anyone who's played the Guilty Gear Strive beta or pretty much any indie fighter that's come out in like the last 2-3 years, or has used Slippy, you know, or has played Street Fighter V on a good day, or Tekken in like the last year, should know that rollback netcode is the future of fighting games. It is the future.
Mm-hmm.
Every fighting game that comes out without rollback netcode is going to be coming out at a loss. And unfortunately, Virtua Fighter 5 isn't going to have that, but it's going to have like the best delay-based netcode money can buy, which, considering what the previous release of the game had, is kind of saying something. So, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that it's back. Thank you, SEGA. Thank you, fucking Toshihiro Nagoshi. Thank you, whoever I have to thank, for bringing this fucking game back. With the developer pedigree, I know I kind of don't like praising games for their pedigree, but I kind of have to. Like I said in the last episode, I'm guilty of it, but I kind of have to here. These games are being made by RGG Studio, and how many of their games do I own? I own Yakuza 1, Yakuza 2. I own the HD remasters that are only released in Japanese for the PS3. I own the Japanese Samurai game for the PS3. I own Yakuza 3, 4, Yakuza 6. I own 3, 4, and 5 remastered, which is all one package. I own the Samurai game for the PS4. I own Yakuza 0. That's 10. I own Yakuza Kiwami. I own Yakuza Kiwami 2. I own Judgment. And I own Yakuza Like a Dragon on the PS4 and the PS5. So yeah, that's 14 games of theirs that I own physically. And like I mentioned, games that some of these games weren't even released in English, and I still played them.
Yeah.
Which, it's got to say something. So that gets me all kinds of hot and bothered under the covers, you know. So I'm just glad. So that's all I really got to say about that. I'm gonna play the fuck out of it. Might stream some of it when it comes out. Who knows? Check me out. My Twitch link is in the description. I don't know. I'm gonna have a good time. So back to what I was saying. I totally wanted to get back to something, and it slipped my fucking mind. Yakuza Like a Dragon, right? I finally finished it. Right. I finally finished it. And I'm not going to talk spoilers because I know you haven't like played it. I know you started Yakuza 0. I don't know how far you are anyway, given how much I've seen you play.
I was actually just about to say earlier, we totally dedicate next episode to this topic because I don't know if you're interested to hear my thoughts on it. So
oh, totally not, Joe. I never will ever want to hear you talk about one of my favorite game franchises, which kind of at this point can totally be considered my favorite. But like, yeah, we totally can. That'd be great. I could totally save my fucking thoughts on Yakuza Like a Dragon for them because, as anyone who follows my social medias knows, link in the fucking description for all of our social media links for everybody's shit. Okay.
For every shit post that we make.
Yeah, right. Every fucking dumb, lame tweet that we make, every fucking stupid Instagram story post that we make. You guys should know that I am like a simp for Ichiban. And that is aided by the fucking ending of Like a Dragon and by the song that plays during the credits and the lyrics to that song and his whole entire journey. I'm a simp for this guy. I want to see what this nigga's gonna do. Lost Judgment's coming out this fucking year. I'm gonna fucking love it because they got like skateboarding and Sonic the Fighters for some reason. It's gonna be good.
I saw that, yeah.
I totally called that.
So fucking
I totally called that.
So weird.
If you see me on Twitter, I said that like 3 days ago. Before the Sonic announcements, I was like, yo, they're putting Sonic the Fighters in Judgment, and then Sega's like, we are putting Sonic the Fighters in Judgment. I was like, no fucking way. That game sucks. Still gonna play it though because it's in Judgment. So, all right, Joe. Looks like we're winding down to a close. So, is there anything else you want to discuss before we jet?
Not entirely sure, man. I mean, I feel like we've handled a good amount of topics for today.
Yeah, I think we
gave a lot of our thoughts on it. So I'm pretty satisfied. Pretty satisfied.
All right, that's yeah, I got to agree. And before we head out, I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode before the intro. But guys totally got to check out my friend Kamari, who mixed us the outro music you're going to be hearing in a little while. Please give him all kinds of love because he's really talented at what he does in terms of drawing and in terms of music. So if you guys could go show him some love because of the music you're about to hear, I'd really appreciate it. And I'd like to thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Adam and Joe After Hours, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Adam. Looking forward to it. Love y'all.
To it.